for a leader is not his or her own performance that counts, but the performance the people they are able to inspire. That's why you are a leader. Otherwise, you are not a leader, you are just a work.
Welcome to another episode of the peopleHum interview series. I'm your host Vanessa Rose, and let's begin with a quick introduction of peopleHum. peopleHum is an end-to-end, one-view integrated human capital management automation platform, the winner of the 2019 Global Cody Awards for HCM that is specifically built for crafted employee experiences and the future of work. We run the peopleHum blog and the video channel, which receives upwards of 200,000 visitors a year, and publish around 2 interviews with well-known names globally every month. And now for our guest, Giuseppe Andò is a C-level and executive coach at Marshall Goldsmith Stakeholder-Centered Coaching. He is also an associate member of the European Mentoring and Coaching Council. He provides thinking-based strategic coaching to CEOs and their teams, business unit directors and their teams, and high-potential leaders identified as candidates for C-suite positions. We're honored to have someone of his stature on our interview series. Welcome, Giuseppe. We are thrilled to have you.
Thank you. Thank you to you.
So let's start with a little bit about your work as an executive coach. Could you elaborate about it?
Yeah, well, I like to define my executive coaching profession as a professional practice dedicated to C-level and executive and directors based on a methodological partnership. I am a sort of partner of thought who challenges dialectically and methodologically the models of thought of the coaches in order to induce them to investigate their most intimate and potential and achieve the goals they have set. Let me say that I use a range of dialogical techniques of stimulation aimed at making the coachee create and develop their own strategic plan for the realization of his or her objectives, thus expressing and maximizing their potential in terms of work potential. Kolb says that learning is not just an active self-directed process, but also a process where knowledge is created through the transformation of experience. And sometimes you just cannot get the learning on your own, which is where the role of a coach or mentor comes in.
You focus on the alignment of business goals and leaders' thinking. So what exactly is involved in the process, and do you use any tools or frameworks?
In order to align a leader's goals with those of the company he or she works for, it is first necessary to clearly outline what the company's goals are. It is not uncommon for some leaders to misunderstand what expectations the company places on them. Then, once the company's goals are clarified, the goals that the leader must achieve to meet those of the company are identified. I adopt the purpose, perspectives, process model. This means that first we state the purpose. Where are you as a coach going and why? Then we try to draw the perspective. What will inform your journey, your path, your way? And then the process. How will we, because the coach is part of the process, how will you or we get there? This is the way to try to interfere with the models, with the mental models of my coach, in order to align his way to think with the objectives and the target that the company has established before.
Right. So it's asking why, what, and how, and that should be clearly, communicated throughout the organization.
Yeah, right. No, I want to say that still is the Colmes experiential learning model is still valid, because Cole say that, as we know, is learning is not just an active, self-directed process. As I said before, that's why a coach or a mentor can light the way to a leader in order to understand the objective or the target of his company. Because given an external point of view, can help the leader to better um, put himself or herself inside the way the company want to go ahead and reach their targets.
Right. And do you think we need to have, a separate strategy for leadership in small, medium, and large organizations?
Absolutely. Um, in large industry, the culture of continuous improvement is now well established. And almost no manager or director would claim to have no further room for growth. The idea of a company owner has faded, as they are often public companies. So the coaching strategy is all focused on the methodology and not the ratio behind the executive coaching process. So in the small, mid-sized enterprises or business, it's a different story. The strategy must include a literacy phase for the leader to make him or her believe in the idea that there is always room for improvement. You have to help him or her to complement them with the soft skills which serve to relate to a constantly changing world. Um, as small, mid-sized enterprises or business contribute more than 99% to the USA GDP, but also for Italy's GDP, accounting for more than 2/3, more or less, of all new jobs. So there are a, a lot of issues still open. For instance, talent identification and their development, current leadership capabilities that are stronger than those in the pipelines, which means that not to have a strategic generational turnover or changeover. But what's holding the small mid-sized businesses from developing their leaders? I think that a lack of budget or financial resources, a lack of HR resources strategy, and a fragmented approach. How can we help to improve this situation? It's quite difficult, but maybe that driving business results, for instance, may be the first objective for a leader in a small, mid-sized enterprises. Strategy mapping, which means aligning and mapping the organization, leadership, talent, culture, and teamwork with its business strategy, and then give a team-based strategic execution, creating and implementing a team-based strategic execution process, which means design a way where leaders, managers, and employees are aligned and working together at the highest levels of performance.
That was a very insightful answer. And
So,
in your experience, what are the main challenges that leaders face today?
first of all, I would put communication. A leader has to create the vision and persuade his or her team to make it their vision too. They have to connect on an individual level and inspire people to move from I to we. The leader, have to build trust by ensuring their verbal communication and their non-verbal actions reinforce each other. A leader has to make effective communication a priority and then um, takes discipline, consistency, clarity of message, and willingness. The second challenge may be maybe adapting the pace of change in the workplace. Technology is one of the biggest drivers of business change. Great leaders are always looking for more visibility over how change impacts not just their own brand, but the values, processes, and people of the companies they lead. So it's not just a matter of technology, but it's just is also matter of cultural change inside the company. Then they need to stay agile with technology, which is more than just a buzzword. I think that is the right word. Keeping abreast of the technology landscape involves more than just spending money on the newest technology tools. Great business leaders listen to what their staff tell them and are prepared not just to change their business, but to change themselves. The last challenge, I think, that unfortunately in this period is quite, let me say, delicate, is delivering bad news. A leader has to know how to convey bad news, even though people need to be some way to feel supported by the leaders, even that it's not easy sometimes to stay aligned with the need of the company when you have personal problems or other things like that.
You spoke about communicating and listening better, but how do you think leaders can do that, especially while working remotely now?
Well, they should work on the way they use the logical thinking, I think. Sometimes we talk about an empathic way to communicate, which is an essential part of leadership. But sometimes we need to have logical way to communicate because people need something, I would say, we would say concrete, um, something in what to believe because the reason behind are so strong that they cannot um, they have to believe because there's something very solid to look at. So we need the communication is a sort of mix of these two elements and not just of the empathetic, because sometimes empathetic may sound something really strange for the people hearing you, because they can understand that you are just trying to feel the same, but it is quite unnatural. Whereas the reason are universal because they are logical.
Yeah, this time I think empathy rules.
Yeah, we need to integrate the two things and not just empathetic, which is in any case something that you can, in any absolutely not, you cannot renounce because this is essential. But it's not the only thing to use when communicating.
And according to you, how do we maintain the culture of an organization for higher engagement and productivity?
Well, culture is the DNA and the backbone of your organization. And organization's culture not only affects the manner in which managers manage and consequently shape employee behavior, but it also affects the way in which the organization processes its product services and provide the services to its customer. Culture is influenced by an organization's beliefs. As you say in English, actions speak louder than words, which is the value of examples given by the leaders. A company's culture tells the people who work for it what is right and wrong, what to believe, what not to believe, how to react and how to feel. So the question is, what is, as you say, the employee engagement? Well, an engaged employee is more connected to your company's mission, motivated to exceed their goals, proactive about learning new skills and starting new projects, is positive in their approach to work, committed to developing their careers inside the organization. So employee engagement is a direct outcome of a high performance company culture. Why? Because high performance cultures clearly outline behaviors and norms that are healthy and supportive. Employees clearly understand their culture and what is expected of them. They feel connected and they feel involved. They feel supported, and therefore they feel at last engaged.
Yeah.
Maybe a way, maybe survey your employees, understand what's working in your company culture, understand what improve in your company culture, make employees feel heard, uncover ideas from employees you may have thought of. So this is more or less my view.
That makes so much sense. So, Giuseppe, moving to the end of our interview, do you have any sound bites you'd like to share with the viewers?
I would say my statement in my homepage, which is the following: the extent of your success is given by the dimension of the success of the people you have been able to inspire. For a leader, is not his or her own performance that counts, but the performance the people they are able to inspire. That's why you are a leader. Otherwise, you're not a leader, you are just a work.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's not about the difference you make, but what difference you made to others' lives. So it was a pleasure talking to you, Giuseppe.
My pleasure.
I really appreciate you sharing your time and your insights with us. I had a great time.
Thank you. Have a great day to you.